Namaste, it's the Spiritual Daywalker, hashtag Schrodinger's cards, with your tarot card reading for the next full moon phase from 12th until 27th of August. Aquarius, this is your full moon. It's going to move into Pisces, so it's going to be a little emotional, right? But you are the wet water bearer, right? So the most watery of the air signs, in a sense. At least that's how you feel to me. So you're going to manage, and you're going to be in your power, and you're going to realize how you want to feel and move more into that. So this is going to be freaking interesting. That being said, it is a general reading, so if the message doesn't resonate with you, feel free to drop the message. If the message does resonate with you, drop a comment, like and subscribe, and share to whomever might enjoy this reading style. Also, I don't do love readings. If love comes up in this reading, that is on you because you are manifesting it. But I don't want to project anything into your reality that is not supposed to be there just because I say so, because life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, let's see how you make that prophecy work. We're going to do the DNA spread. That is like a tree of life spread, but with the spirit axis in the middle and the energies helixing around it. Let's see. In the spot of the 0, you are in Empress mode. You're filling yourself. You're filling yourself. You're filling yourself. That is very beautiful. That is a cool energy to have in the soul spot, because your soul is like, your guides are actually full on shoving you into that feeling of trust and attractiveness and attractivity, right? So you're basically in manifestation mode, but also a little like responsive. See how it works out, and working with whatever comes your way in a very self-confident manner. In your challenge in the middle, or well, what you gain from this experience, the overall topic, that's a 10 of Pentacles. That is beautiful, but the 10 of Pentacles is in reverse, so you're kind of asking yourself, when will it pay off, right? Well, the experience, the energies around it is going to shed more light into that situation, but you are on your way to working, like you are on your way towards this fulfillment, right? That is you manifesting, right? Now let's see what you manifest. In the spot of the 10 right here, there's the 7 of Wands in reverse, and since this is something you want to manifest, probably, right, it is like the 7 of Wands is a strong sense about who you are and who you want to be and what you want to achieve, right? Your creative will. And since it's in reverse, you are kind of like, you're still passive in a sense. You are very much in your passion, but kind of responsive still. So getting that recognition is a little tough when you're passive, right? So that's why it's a little delayed, in reverse, whatever. But it's also coming with the realization that you don't actually have to do it alone, right? You don't have to like fight for your own vision if you just like share it and work with other people on it. Like, let's see how this revolves. So it seems like you are in Empress mode, you are attracting, but at some point you have to tell the universe what exactly it is you want, right? What you want to manifest, and not only work with what it gives you. And you figuring out what that is and what it is you want to share with the world. That's that 10 of Pentacles in the middle right there, right? So let's see how the energy is evolving around that. In the spot of the 1, there's a Hierophant in reverse. So that's my card for bullshit advice. That's my card for people knowing better, or like an ideology that you leave behind that is not exactly working for you anymore, right? Doesn't have to be a mentor, but it is like a value system, like an ideology that you're just like, wait a minute, actually, I don't want to believe in that anymore. My truth has shifted. I live in a different world now, in a different frequency, dimension, call it what you want to call it, right? But this is you coming to terms with that Hierophant, Well, people be like, you have to pull through with blah, 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 and you have to do this and that. And you're like, wait a minute, I have to do shit. I have to maintain my own frequency, believe in myself, shit will come. I'll be able to work with it. That's a cool thing. It's balanced, on the other hand, by a 9 of Cups in reverse. Well, it's not even balanced. I believe that that bullshit advice is leading you into a 9 of Cups in reverse, where you're like, well, it doesn't feel right. There's a lot I feel about this. There's a lot of, like, maybe ambition involved, right? Wanting to get things right. The idea of having to learn stuff, having to listen to people with more experience, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? The people with more experience are not exactly the people you have to ask when it comes to innovation, right? Me coming from advertising, I always used to say, experience actually stands in the way of innovation, of being innovative, because, right, you're acting from experience. If you want to create something new, you have to go to, like, move beyond your comfort zone, go into something that you have next to no experience in, right? So the experience of other people is always their experience, and what you want to create for yourself is not necessarily matching that. So be careful with advice you're taking on, and I believe you are. I believe you're kind of sick of the advice of others making you feel shitty about yourself. That's what the Hierophant in reverse and that 9 of Cups in reverse is kind of telling me, with the Empress being above it, being like, wait a minute, right? So the insight you get from that in the spot of the 3, where you, like, your spirit kicks in, you're like, wait a minute, that's a 5 of Swords in reverse. So it seems like, you know, you have to cut ties with some of the, yes, like with an ideology that is making you feel shitty about yourself. But that ideology, and maybe that Hierophant, that like the mentor, whatever, representing that ideology, is not so easy to cut out your life, and or whatever. It's not easy to make up your mind around this, right? You're working through this, right? It's going to be a little delayed. Probably you're manifesting something into your reality is going to help you make that decision, because the 5 is about a change, and Swords is your energy, is mind energy, it's air, right? So you're making up your mind about stuff, but it's kind of taking you a while. Why? Because you're so passive in that Empress mode that you don't realize that you are allowed to want something in life. You're not only responsive, you are allowed to make up your mind for what you want, but it's tough to replace a vision if you don't have one, right? It's like, okay, I'm not digging that ideology anymore, but, like, what do I believe in? What do I want? Like, what do I want to manifest? It's going to be interesting. Let's see. Around the 10 in reverse, the 10 of Pentacles in reverse in the middle, there's a Son of Swords. So there's you moving, being decisive, looking for the truth, right? And coming away from that 9 of Cups, so that shit not feeling right for you, or just being too much and too much negative of it, right? That is you, that is pushing you towards that Son of Swords energy, where you're like, wait, let's get to the bottom of this, right? Let's find the truth we can actually agree with, and move towards some different ideology. Now, on the other hand, there's a 10 of Wands, so there is a lot of confusion about what to want, right? Because the moment you realize that a belief structure is crumbling, you don't believe in the ideology and believe in the world as it was for you anymore, then the question is like, yeah, but what do I believe in, right? Looking for that truth, but like just moving into that 10 of Wands, which is like a thick forest undergrowth, where you're just like, well, that's so much in here. That's like, actually, what wands do I want to entertain? What desires are true? What desires are ego? What desires am I allowed to have, in a sense? Which is also already the wrong question. kinda. But of course, leaving a hierophant, like an ideology behind that was so important for your emotional body, right? Not exactly beautiful emotions, but it was important, right? But leaving that behind is gonna move you into confusion about what you want, right? And your challenge is to manifest something that gives you stability and a sense of, having made it, in a sense, right? But what is that? What exactly do you want? Yeah, you're gonna find out. So moving further into manifestation, let's see. There's love. There is a Two of Cups. And a Two of Cups, well, it doesn't exactly have to mean romantic love, but for you, I feel it is. Because why? Because you're coming from an Empress, right? You're coming from the energy of filling yourself, You're filling yourself so much that you realize this Hierophant ideology that was portrayed to me is kind of bullshit. And the moment you're in the Ten of Wands, which is not exactly a bad card, it's just a lot. It's a lot of wants and desires and needs, right? That's when you're attracting someone or some relationship in your life, or maybe that self-love kicks in from the Empress, where you're just like, actually, this is what I want. So this, or for the time being, this is what's gonna balance that Ten of Wands a little, which is gonna give you a little more stability, a little more, I'm not gonna say clarity, not exactly, right? But it's gonna get you out of that confusion, in a sense, to rest in that emotion, to realize what type of emotion you want to feel and how good it can feel to be in your Empress, right? On the other hand, cool, there's the Magician. There's the Magician, all right, in manifesting mode, looking at this Two of Cups. So it very much seems to me that, you are moving into the Magician mode, and this is kind of triggered. It's kind of triggered through A, getting yourself in balance, and B, probably someone balancing you out and being like a good mentor. See, there's you do read it like a helix, but the Hierophant in reverse being the diagonal of the Magician upright, that is like bullshit advice that is pretending to do alchemy, and then the Magician, which is you, actually doing alchemy. I do feel like this Magician might be someone else coming in that is a true Hierophant, in a sense, that is not leading by teaching you something, but kind of leading by example, that recognizes your Empress, right, that attractiveness and whatever, and feels glad that as the Magician he can shine in through what he created for his life or her life, whatever, right? So it doesn't have to be exactly female male, it can be male female, like, doesn't matter. It's more the Empress is the passive, reactive, attractive, and the Magician is the active, manifesting, right? And that as a counterpart to that Hierophant where you're coming from is a very beautiful thing, right? So being confronted with the Magician is what's gonna make you learn from that Magician, right? And that Magician is someone that is manifesting what he or she wants. So let's see what it is you are gaining from that as a spiritual advice in the spot of the 6. There's the Chariot in reverse. Very interesting. So determined to make it work, but still not knowing where to push towards, right? Because, well, that Magician with the Two of Cups, it's basically showing you that it can work. What it doesn't give you exactly is the answer to what you want, right? That one you have to really answer yourself, right? And there's still what you're manifesting, that 7 of Wands in reverse, is kind of a lack of recognition, where you're like, okay, if I'm always being responsive, there's something missing that I very much want, which is that recognition. And that's when you remember that magician energy that you encountered, and you're like, hey, actually, I need to wrap my head around what I truly desire in life, so I can use that magic to create it, to manifest it, right? So this is when you realize there is confusion about what you want, and you just have to be clear on that, so you can actually manifest it, right? And in that spot of the manifestation right here, in the last row, the Magician and the 2 of Cups, making you realize something about this Chariot in reverse here, that there is determination but a lack of movement, right? And maybe a lack of decisiveness to go for what you want, right? You have to dare to want first, right? Without being overwhelmed, but get some clarity on that, and you're manifesting something that realizes that. So probably someone coming in, making a big freaking impression on you, being all like magician-y about their reality, which is very inspiring at first, but then it leaves you kind of in the shadow, where you're like, wait, I'm kind of idealizing this person or this energy that I'm encountering, so I have to stop idealizing that and integrate it, really, right? And realize that I can be that magician, I can be that determined chariot to go for what I want, right? But that is something you will experience. You're like, at some point you're gonna wake up like, wait a minute, I'm in the shadow here, but I'm coming from that Empress. How can this Empress like stand around in the shadow? She needs to shine, right? So that's what you're going to realize then. You're like, okay, I need to get clear on what I want, and then use the technique that I found so attractive and inspiring, and incorporate it myself, right? And use it myself to become my own mentor, become my own Hierophant, right? And well, use that magician energy for myself, right? And it's not that whoever this is, or whatever energy or situation that is, that this wants to be harmful towards you. No, 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 no. The magician is looking at your chariot, be like, why don't you realize that you can do it also? In a sense, right? But I feel like it's more a very inspiring energy, over which you almost forget your Empress energy, where you're coming from, where you're like, wait a minute, I actually can do it myself. I actually can be that inspiring, and I'm allowed to want something from my life. I'm not only responsive, I'm not here to just play ball, like, you know, whatever comes at me, just pitching it away. No, actually, you can go for it. You can pick a target and go for it, right? And that's what you're like manifesting an experience for, to learn that. So going there will be beautiful, because that Magician 2 of Cups energy is a very beautiful energy to live out, right? And it's very much standing in awe in front of something being possible, right? Through trust and love and commitment, right? And then you asking yourself, why don't I have this commitment, this determination? That's because something within you doesn't feel like it could, because it was always in a passive mode. And you're learning that you have to go into active mode. Once you freed yourself, that was already active, right? That, wait a minute, I don't have to deal with that shit. Now you have to go into active mode, right? Now you have to, and you are, right? Like that Son of Swords, it is moving, and I feel like this is very much you moving, looking for that truth, right? And the truth is, at some point, You have to stop being passive and make up your mind on what you want so you can go for it, so you can use that magician energy for yourself. Incorporate that, become that magician, right? Using all the elements. See, on the magician card, there's all the elements, all the elements. So that's alchemy, right? It is very beautiful, and it looks like a realization about yourself that is kind of smooth sailing, because, well, the moment, yeah, well, the first part is not exactly easy with the Five of Swords in reverse, where just like, oh, really, I have to move away from this, I have to make up my mind. And then moving into that confusion, but I feel like there's an energy coming in as a savior energy. Just be aware that that savior energy is not supposed to be over-idealized, but is going to show you something to integrate. And you're going to learn that, right? The moment you realize you're allowed to want, you're allowed to go for something. Aquarius, this is very beautiful. And being in that Empress energy, that must be a very cool feeling for you going through that experience, even if there's so many pivotal things to learn for you, and you're manifesting like a somewhat polarizing energy with this Seven of Wands in reverse, where just like, wait, there's supposed to be like more of my own in there, right? Yeah, but still, going through this experience is probably a very cool feeling, probably very inspiring and fascinating, that kind of deal. That's what I'm getting. You just have to realize, remembering your Empress, that you manifested this, you are worth it, right? And that you're allowed to go for something that you truly want. That is so, so cool. Aquarius, if that resonated with you, feel free to drop a comment, like and subscribe. Also, hit me up just with a DM or whatever, and share the video for someone that might benefit from this reading style. Thank you so much for listening. I love you.